coming up in the ranks or in something. That's got to be. You get your spectacle main event, but everything else on that card should be boxing. Otherwise, I don't think the commission should be sanctioning it because, number one, it's not healthy for the fighter. Because even if he does fight Conor McGregor, who's way under his weight limit, so I think he's fighting like cruiserweight. I don't fought over 170 pounds in the UFC. He fought maybe they're at something 100, I think.
Yeah,
I mean that's a big dude for direct, because it's going to bring money. You know what? Because the Texas Commission wants their 3%, or any commission wants whatever percentage they get from the taxes. Ticket revenue. They'd be allowed out. Okay, I mean they're young; they're not going to necessarily get hurt, but they haven't earned show that they wouldn't get hurt. That's factors I think. That's the factors of the commissioner of any would I be looking into. Is this person going to get hurt? Okay, what if they show us that they're not going to get hurt or make a fool of themselves or get in? Probably going to be a money line on it too in Vegas somehow. So are they worthy enough to or ethical enough to know that they're not going to dump something to try to get money off of it too?
At what point?
I think there's a lot of factors on the business side they have to go into it to say whether or not it'd be good. It's good on the numbers alone, but is it good for boxing? I don't know, because it's really blurring the lines with the occasional fan of boxing and not necessarily enthusiasts that actually know the sport and follow it along.
At what point, because we're talking about safety, at what point does it not become okay for these guys to, like, if they want to box, fine, fair. All right. And I've said this before, these guys have, and I'm talking about the Logan brothers, they have the luxury of time and money. So they've been in the gym for the last 2 years straight. They've been working. They in their minds, in their heads, they believe they're boxing. They believe they're learning. They believe they're great, whatever. But at what point does it become not okay when you start calling out, or even Nate Robertson called him out. So whatever. But at what point does the commission say, hey, wait a minute, you've been doing this for 2 years. This cat ain't never, he's an NBA player. He's never boxed before. I mean, Nate could have been seriously hurt. I mean, he took a shot and he got knocked the fuck out, and he really could have been serious. Luckily it wasn't. But at what point do we got to say, hey, wait a minute, you got to start fighting different caliber fighters if you want to be A, getting this payday, and B, want to be in this sport.
And it's going to be a very thin line for the Logan Paul and his brother, whomever they wants to do this type of stuff, because physics is going to start to take a factor in it. So once they're actually fighting somebody their age, their weight, and their skill level that has had an amateur career, knows how to throw a punch,
it's over,
how to move, they're done. I mean, it's not a secret. And I don't know if they're getting the type of training, and I haven't followed them or been paying attention, but they're still celebrity. And what comes along with that when they come into a gym is that they're still a celebrity when they get there. So are they really getting the same treatment?
They post a little.
Say that again, Robert. Okay, but
what was that, Rob?
They posted videos of them in the gym getting work at Ryan Garcia's gym and stuff.
See, now,
so videos of them in the gym, like working in the gym.
Now that's the thing, though,
stuff like that. But
that's the thing. They again, that goes back to having the opportunity, having the money, so they can go out. They can go out and get these big name trainers to spend some time with them. But like you said, Joe, at the end of the day, they're still celebrities. And so are they getting that celebrity training and celebrity treatment when they're walking into these gyms and working with these trainers?
Yeah, and they're going out at night and doing all this and doing all that. They're not doing what Robert's doing. They're not doing what Trouble is doing out there daily and grinding and trying to make the weight and do all this. They're getting privilege before they deserve it. Mayweather got what he got. He was the hardest working boxer that ever lived. I mean, the guy's nuts. But people don't see that part of it. They always saw that he goes out to the clubs and does this and does that. Well, Mayweather used to go out to the clubs and then go run 10 miles when he got done. I think the Paul brothers are going out to the clubs and then they go in and out afterwards and go crash until 11 o'clock the next day.
Well, to what Robert said earlier, as far as you have, it might feel like you have the potential of it becoming a circus and whatnot. The thing about boxing is it's brutally honest, and it's not going to cheat itself. And so at the end of the day, the truth is going to reveal itself. They're gonna one day walk into that ring, and they're going to have to reevaluate their whole stance in boxing, because they're going to get punched in the mouth, and they're not going to have a clue how to react. And so, time is always the true test. And so we'll see how far it goes. It's only been 3 fights, or combined.
One's got 2, the other's got 2 losses or something. I don't know, but
right.
They got to want to do. Is it going to be spectacle, or are they actually going to make a play at boxing? Because if that's the case, then they got to go. They got to start from the start, like everybody.
Right.
I mean, you got to get somebody that you're going to build up on and do a 4 or 6 rounder and see how you do and go from there. Because, like I said, until you get your feet wet and get understanding how to move and how to take a punch, how to clinch when you're hurt, all that type of stuff, you're not going to get there. And I mean, even the fight against Nate Robinson was pretty sloppy until he landed a hard right. So I get over the hill NBA star. I mean, you weren't dealing with fighting Usyk. I mean, you're in a weight class of big hitters.
Yeah. And shout out to Usyk, man. Shout out to Trouble, man. Great fight. It was a rematch. And what was the opponent's name?
Jens Plana.
It was a great fight. He pulled out the win. What are your plans for Trouble? What's upcoming for him?
He is going down to San Jose, Costa Rica on January 30th.
Okay.
He's going to be fighting down there. I believe it's going to be an international title through the WBA. So we'll get him that. And then after that, it's probably going to be back up to Vegas.
Nice. Well, congratulations on that win as well.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this Garcia fight tonight. Garcia versus Campbell, 20-0 versus 20-3. Campbell with the 3 losses. How tough of a fight is this for Garcia tonight?
I think it's going to be it's obviously going to be his toughest fight.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because I was never real high on Ryan Garcia. He was very.
But a lot has changed, though.
Yeah, he's growing into his a little bit of muscle maturity, which is good for him. So he's going to be a little bit stronger. I think he'll be able to take a better punch. He hasn't lost any quickness, obviously. How old is he? Like 20, 21 now?
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, he's still real young, but
22.
Yeah, okay. But he's got muscle on him now, which is allowing him to take a little bit better shot.
I think that his technique has improved.
Yeah, like anything. Look, I was always on Clarissa Shields too when she first started out, which always gets under Derek's skin. But that was the same thing. It's like, look, I mean, she's improved so much in the last 2 fights that I agree. I mean, she's probably the best in the female division and growing into it. Ryan's the same thing. All he had was a social media following and really fast hands before that, but he was fighting guys from Mexico that were like 500 fighters that were rocking him, and he didn't know what to do. And that was only a year ago. And now he's fighting Luke Campbell, who, he's got 3 losses, but he lost to good guys in their prime. I mean, I think he lost with Linares. He lost to Lomachenko and a French guy like back in like 2017 that's like 46-5. And he took him the distance, and I think they were split decisions on 2 of those besides Lomachenko, who I think won every single round on every single card. So I think it's going to be a super tough fight. It's
definitely going to be a test. He's a grown.
You froze up.
It's definitely going to be a test. I mean, Campbell's a grown-ass man. He's 33.
I think I got to see it when you.
Am I back?
You're frozen
tonight. Is that me?
Yeah, that's you.
You're frozen.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Close all those extra tabs you got.
Yeah.
But honestly, I got Garcia winning this fight. I think that he's gonna come out early, filling him out, and then once he picks his shots, I think that's when he's gonna go for broke.
Yeah.
But
the only thing,
then how he does in the later rounds.
Yeah, so. Campbell, I mean, if anybody, they picked it right, and he's a European fighter. He keeps his hands up but out, and more or less, he's got good movement when he's after he throws, but he doesn't really have a whole lot of lateral movement coming in. So I think Garcia's quick hooks are going to get around that guard and land a lot, which is probably why Garcia, I think, is coming in at like a negative 400 on the odds, which is, I think, crazy. But, I mean, he's a favorite, but, I mean, 4-1 is not saying much about Campbell or what they think of him.
Is he going to go the distance, or did you guys predict a knockout?
Yeah, I don't see it being.
Yeah, I think it's going to go the distance. Campbell can take it, unless he gets hit with something he doesn't see.
I'll say at the. Yeah.
Interesting.
At the most, man, a stoppage. Like Garcia could stop him, but knocking him out cold, I don't see it.
I'm not going to make a prediction for tonight.
I'm going to predict that I'm not going to buy the $20 DAZN. January just started, man.
Yeah. Hey, we got
the DAZN membership.
We got to be careful, because then they just passed a law that said they're going to make it a felony to stream these damn to be streaming illegally. Shit, that just puts a damper in everything.
Yeah, they said that about LimeWire and Napster back in 2002.
LimeWire, boy, you're throwing it back now.
Robert doesn't know what that is.
Hey, but let's touch on Clarissa Shields, man. She, I don't know how I feel about this whole going from boxing to MMA. I mean, I think she has so much momentum, or she has so much momentum going in, in boxing, and to take a sidestep and get into UFC. I mean, I can see where it makes sense for her financially.
But she's not doing it in UFC. That's the thing. If she wanted to do it financially, she would have done it with the UFC, which is going to pay her a whole lot more. She's doing it on, I forget the promoter.
Yeah,
it was the World Series of Fighting was what it was. So whoever bought that out and renamed it, it's what it is. So it's a tournament style. So to make the actual big money, unless they pay, I'm sure they paid her something to sign up, but to win the actual big purse, she has to win the entire tournament, so to speak.
PFL?
Yeah. So she has to be, I don't know how many people would be in the thing. I mean, probably 3 or 4 fights before she's going to win the ultimate purse on it.
It's no mystery. We're all big fans of her. Derek's a big fan. I really like her. I enjoy her style of fighting. I love her personality. She's great. I'm
she should
curious.
love her knees more than that, though.
Huh?
She should love her own knees more than.
Yeah, I mean,
the bag.
I'm curious. I'm curious to see how it's going to play out. So, have
you ever taken a leg shot?
No, and nor do I want to.
Yeah, I started I'm a 2nd degree black belt in kickboxing. That's how I started out in combat sports. It hurts.
Yeah,
I still don't like it. I did it for 4 or 5 years and never got used to it.
Them guys are a different beast. When I watch UFC and I see some of the stuff that they do to each other, to me, in my mind, I'm thinking, if anyone ever bends my arm backwards like that or puts me, I'm going straight to the trunk, man, because I respect my body way too much. You got to have a level of disrespect for your body to allow yourself to just put yourself through that. It's just I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's not bad for her financially. I think it's going to be bad for her physically, because if she does come up against somebody that's been doing this their whole life, and that's a different breed of cat that's coming up in MMA that's willing to throw their legs like a baseball bat and hit you wherever they can hit you. And that could be the shin if you block it right. It's possibly the side of your knee if you don't. If not, it's also your thigh that you're going to get all numbed up and have Charlie horses after that.
But not only that, the style of training. you're learning different. It's a whole different technique that you're going to have to